Kirk here, BMW Motorrad Club of Northern Illinois, bringing in a do-it-yourself video. What I'm going to be doing today is, which you probably see in the title, is cleaning the Sprag clutch. Now the reason you'd ever want to clean the Sprag clutch, the starter clutch, is if you have a no-start situation where you know the battery's charged up, everything's good to go that way, but you hit the start button and it just sits there and spins. I've had this happen now twice on this bike, on my bike, and it's usually when it's cold out, but sometimes it's random. So I don't really like to have to get people to help push start me, and I've definitely had to do that. The bike does push start fairly easy, but that's not really it's not really all that fun to do. So what we got to do is we got to remove the crankcase cover and be able to access the Sprag clutch, which is right in this area here. It's behind here. There's some areas underneath this cover where you can get some cleaner up in there and spray the cleaner. And what happens is this engine, it doesn't have a lot of oil flow that goes up to that Sprag clutch. It's got some, but not a whole lot. And when you short trip the bike, if you commute very short distances or you run it in the wintertime when it's not really that, obviously not very warm out or whatever, or you just start it up and shut it off, you do that a bunch of times, you can get that black, like carbony tar, almost like a sludge that hangs out right on the Sprag clutch, and then it will kind of gum up the works, and when you hit the start button, it's not engaging properly. The starter's spinning, things aren't engaging properly. So I'm going to pull this off here. I'm going to pull my this brace off and then pull this off, and it's just the same as when you're pulling off the other side with the valves. It's got just the same stars, bolts in it. They just pop off, and then you can actually reuse the gasket that's behind it. You don't have to go and buy a new gasket or anything. So I'm going to pull that off. The other thing that I'm going to do prior to doing this is I'm going to drain all my oil, and then so I'm going to drain all my oil out, and I'm going to remove the oil filter and leave that off, and then also leave the drain plug itself out, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be spraying like carburetor cleaner in here and really hosing this thing down really good, and hopefully that will all wash the crap out of it and drain out. Some guys I know have taken off the drain pan itself, the whole plate that's here. Not a bad idea if you want to do that. I'm not going to do that. It's not leaking or anything, so I'm not pulling that off. I'll put some rags up in there and absorb any of the cleaner that I spray up in there, and that'll have to be good enough. And then I'm gonna put new oil in it and stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna drain this out and get going on this. So alright, so where is the Sprag clutch? It's right above this large gear here, behind it up in here. It's very difficult to get to, it's very hard to see, but if I zoom in you might be able to catch it. Okay, there it is. I'm going to try to hold the light steady. So, let me get a little pointer here. Okay, so that hole that's right there. So you're probably going to have to knock your wheel a little bit, put it into third or fourth gear, knock your wheel forward until one of those holes shows up. There's actually 3 of those holes in the Sprag clutch right there. They go up inside, and you can take a product like, back out here real quick. Ooh, wrong, that's not backing out. Okay. So you can either hose it down with something like this, carbon choke cleaner. It's gonna, you know, whatever dissolves the carbon and the varnish that might be in there. So that's one of the things. The thing that I'm going to use is this here Seafoam Deep Creep. It also will dissolve. It says right there, powers through rust varnished carbon. So this one has a lubricant property to it, so it's not going to dry out my parts real bad, so that when I go and hit that starter, it's going to be without oil, so, or without any kind of lubrication until some oil gets up there. So I'm going to use some of this and just hose it down real good and just let it sit for a while. So there you go, guys. I hope you get something out of this video, and I hope this problem never happens to you, but if it does, know that you can get in there and at least hopefully be able to do something about it. So thanks for watching.